let's get into game number 1.
Game number 1 is a great lead for Ash and Ash here, and a quick pivot into that Galarian Moltres to be met with a hard counter here of the Alolan Sandslash. Ash and Ash kind of is a mind reader at this point, saying, I saw how fast you went through those last games. Maybe I can do the same.
What a read by Ashtonash, instantly coming in with the Alolan Sandslash. Look at that massive damage. Brave Bird would be resisted. Ancient Power isn't too strong of an attack. Vitorello is going to go for the Brave Bird. Ashtonash is in a great position here. This is a normal Alolan Sandslash. It is bulkier than the Shadow variant, and it can hang on.
It barely hangs on, which is great. Doesn't give a lot of farm for whatever is going to come in. We saw the Alolan Sandslash earlier on. Now could potentially go against that Marowak. It's coming back in, but guess what? There's already an attack loaded. No protection shield used on Vitorello's side. Knows that it's just an Ice Punch.
Just an Ice Punch isn't doing very much at all. But the problem is what play does Marowak have here? Not a lot. Shadow for Alligator comes in. We know what for Alligator can do with 2 shields. I think Vitorello knows as well. This is very difficult. Going for the Ice Beam bait, going to draw a shield.
He does get that first shield. That is pretty big, but it is going to be Azumarill putting in the heavy work, because Azumarill does great against Mandibuzz. But we've seen time and time again throughout this championship series that Feraligatr just puts in work against Azumarill. Even though these don't do very much damage, they just pace so quickly. Those Shadow Claws just do a little more damage than those bubbles. Hydro Cannon number 2 coming through.
Alolan Marowak has absolutely nowhere to go, and I think Vitorello might recognize that it is very difficult to rely on Azumarill to take out both this Feraligatr and the Mandibuzz in the back. Going for another Ice Beam bait, getting that shield, but this is still a massive mountain to climb.
Going ahead and taking that shield. There are no more shields left, but there is just a Marowak in the back, and a 2-shielded Marowak against both the Feraligatr and a Mandibuzz could be pretty tough at this point. Hydro Cannon coming through on the Azumarill. No Protect Shield used. I think we're going to see some Marowak working and trying to do as much as it can.
I think Vitorello recognizes that the writing is on the wall. This Hydro Cannon is going to land. It's going to take out that Marowak. Vitorello is already preparing for game number 2. Ashtonash nodding. He's put himself in a great position with this win in game 1.
With a lot of ramping up for both of these trainers. Vitorello managed to go through his last opponent so quickly, but Ash and Ash says, okay, wait a minute, now it's my turn. I've been in this seat before. I've been in the International Championships, and I want to do it one more time.
Ash is quickly checking a couple of things with the judges, maybe asking if he was going too hard in that first game, because that was a dominant display. Mandibuzz and Shadow for Alligator completely shutting down that Alolan Marowak. Maybe its best position is on the bench, but now the difficult thing for Vitorello is, if it is forced to the bench, can Ashtonash take advantage of that and lean into either his Alolan Sandslash or that Serperior a lot more?
Ash and Ash just needs one more game to secure himself for Championship Sunday. Vitorello needs to calm himself a little bit, saying, okay, you know what? I played those other games pretty quickly. I can afford a little bit of time to think about my team composition, think about what will be good against Ash and Ash, and I can take this game. And you know what? If I can take one game, I can take the next game as well. This is a big moment for both of these trainers. Neither one of them wants to go home. Both of them want to be here tomorrow.
Vitorello can take his time, contemplate, consider every opportunity. You cannot allow for a game to fall out of your hands like that. Again, it was almost as if as soon as they had locked in, there was very little that Vitorello could do, particularly if you are trying to use Galarian Moltres as a safe swap, only to be met by an Alolan Sandslash. That makes things very difficult.
You have to wonder, if you're Ash and Ash, do you think that you scared away that Alolan Marowak from being played again? Can you go a little bit more risky with your team compositions, thinking that Pokemon could be benched for the future matchups? Both of these trainers kind of thinking through their teams, kind of thinking, what can I do to win this next matchup? It's a big one for Ash and Ash. If he's able to pull through with this, he will be going on.
The really nice thing for Ashton Ash is that his Alolan Sandslash is only really countered by Gastrodon and by Shadow Alolan Marowak. And he has the best answer in the game to both of them. in Mandibuzz, and that makes things so difficult for Bitterello. How do you counter an Alolan Sandslash that is protected by that Mandibuzz? It is going to be a case of alignment. You need to call the lines correctly here, otherwise it is going to be so difficult.
While the Galarian Moltres goes for the power and the punches, Mandibuzz goes for the time and the bulk, being able to tank attack after attack here. We're gonna go ahead and see if it's able to tank it here, because now we have the Mandibuzz lined up against an Azumarill here in the lead. Ashtonash is gonna have to do a quick pivot because he does not want to have this lineup coming into it for Alligator, met by the Galarian Moltres.
Bitterello gets the call he needed. Azumarill into Mandibuzz, and now his Galarian Moltres into Shadow for Alligator. You don't even need to shield this, but Bitterello wants to preserve this health. Galarian Moltres can beast here.
He said, you know what? I like that lead so much, I'm going to make sure that I can keep that alignment. Going ahead, just charging a little bit extra here, throwing right at charge attack priority, but that Hydro Cannon will be able to go through first, making both shields be used here on the side of Bitterello.
Bitterello shaking his head. He knows that there is no world in which he wanted to get charge attack priority there. Ashtonash now has an opportunity. Bitterello's not going to charge this. He wants as much Sucker Punch as possible and then try to throw energy into the Mandibuzz that comes back in. Ashtonash could come back in with his Alolan Sandslash, but that would give Bitterello all the information he needs going into the endgame.
No shields left on Bitterello's side, but a lot of energy. He is coming in with that Sandslash. Ashtonash has a lot of shields left, but guess what? At this point, does he want to use it? Does he think this is a Brave Bird? An Ancient Power does deal a decent chunk of damage. Not only that, could go for a potential boost, but no, an immediate swap back out into the Azumarill.
I like this from Bitterello because he recognizes he also has his own Alolan Sandslash, a Shadow variant in the back. He can deal with the Mandibuzz later, and Azumarill can tank so much more health. You don't want to take the super effective Ice Punch on Galarian Moltres. You'd rather get that energy off onto the Mandibuzz as well.
Drill Run going through does connect with Azumarill. That does a lot of damage. This player up actually at this range would do a decent chunk to the Alolan Sandslash. Gets that first shield off of Ash and Ash while he continues to get a lot of farm with the Sandslash here. But for yet another Drill Run to just start chunking away at the Azumarill. With no Protect Shields remaining, it's gonna have to take it all.
The bubbles slowly adding up, putting Alolan Sandslash into a range where it cannot offer much. Once Alolan Sandslash goes down, Mandibuzz is going to be in a really difficult position to try and take down both the Shadow Alolan Sandslash and the Galarian Moltres on Bitterello's side. Look at these bubbles coming through. Now we're throwing a Play Rough. This will knock out the Alolan Sandslash. Ashtonash curious, what is in the back?
Going to go ahead and see for sure Play Rough will connect, and now we see it come in. Mandibuzz meets up against another Alolan Sandslash. This one is Shadow. This one does 20% more. This one is gonna hurt.
The thing is, Mandibuzz has a shield. 2 Dark Pulses will be enough to take out the Shadow Alolan Sandslash, but 1 Aerial Ace will not be enough to take out the Galarian Moltres. I think Ashtonash recognizes this is going to be a very difficult position. You will need to use a shield on the next Ice Punch that's incoming very shortly.
Dark Pulse coming through here. No Protect Shields. This does a lot of damage, but Ashtonash is already at the Ice Punch before the next Dark Pulse is even thrown. Gets that last Protect Shield, but now we'll have to see, just like Fareed said, will he be able to both take down the Alolan Sandslash, the Moltres, and the Speck of Azumarill in the back?
There is so much work to do. Ashtonash trying to farm up as much as possible. Look how low it is. It is in the red now. Can it reach enough attacks to go through this endgame? I'm not sure if it can. Bitterello seems confident. He really likes the way that he's played this. He's so close to an Ancient Power. Aerial Ace is coming through first. This is not going to knock out.
This is going to connect, that's for sure. No Protect Shields, but we see that Ancient Power already ready. We see it clicked now. We see Bitterello saying, I see you, Ashtonash. I saw you take game number 1. Allow me to even the playing field here. I'm taking game number 2.
Down goes Mandibuzz. Amanda, you asked which one, Galarian Moltres or Mandibuzz. Here, Galarian Moltres really showing how much power it has. Bitterello evens the score.
Look at both of these two. Calm and collected on the stage, though. Our hearts are racing. I think many people in the audience's hearts are racing, wondering who is going to win this best of 3. Who are we going to see on Championship Sunday? Is it going to be Ash and Ash, a trainer from Mexico, or is it going to be the Brazilian trainer, Bitterello, who will keep it here in Sao Paulo?
This is a massive Game 3. We've said every Game 3 is the decisive one. This one is one of the most decisive in this tournament. It is the last game of today. The winner of this next game will proceed to Championship Sunday. They know how much is on the line. These players could not be more focused.
Even up the score here with that Alolan Sandslash. A great read by Bitterello there, deciding, okay, you know what? The Marowak, maybe wasn't the call for this round. I'm gonna go ahead, make it take a bench here, and I actually made the great lead call, got that Azumarill onto the Mandibuzz, and he was able to dictate the pacing of the game afterwards.
Ashtonash has relied on that Shadow for Alligator so much during this tournament so far, only to be met by Galarian Moltres at the end. That is a massive hurdle to climb. Sucker Punch does so much damage. The Galarian Moltres resisting those Shadow Claws, it is really, really impressive. The question now for Vitorello is, how do you shut down the Alolan Sandslash? You know it's coming. You need to predict where it will be. Is it scared off? No, I don't think it will be. Ashtonash is about to lock in. Vitorello is about to lock in. We're about to get into this decisive game 3.
If it's hiding the Alolan Sandslash, it's not doing a good job of it, because now the Marowak has found its portion. You hear the crowd going wild here. You see a quick swap into that Primeape.
Shadow Alolan Marowak is here to party. It has the lead. Ashtonash is ABA weak to it. You can take this Rage Fist, no problem. Vitorello is double resisting these Karate Chops. He is in a great position here.
Going ahead, going for the heavy-hitting Shadow Bolt instead of the bait here, and it is properly shielded up by Ash and Ash. Ash's power is actually boosted on this Primeape from the Rage Fist, and it gets to it quite quickly. Already the second one coming through.
You can farm up on this Alolan Marowak. You're very unlikely to be fast attacked down by either the Primeape or the Alolan Sandslash, but let's remember, you do need to preserve some of this Alolan Marowak for that Sandslash in the back.
Coming in now with the Bone Club. Will Ashtonash want to use both of his shields? No, he's going to let that Primeape go completely down. Now at this point, there is a very low Alolan Marowak, and there's a Feraligatr that actually counters it quite well. We're gonna go ahead and guess that's coming in. We'll see what's gonna match.
Vitorello will probably pivot as soon as possible if he can, or he's gonna actually just let this go down. He's going to lose this Alolan Marowak and maybe come in with the Galarian Moltres. Ashtonash suddenly has a glimmer of hope. Galarian Moltres is now under threat. Feraligatr has energy for days. It has a shield as well. It could even reach 2 Ice Beams.
Going for that first Ice Beam right there. It gets shielded up, but Feraligatr still has a decent amount of energy. It's going to be a race at this point. Ancient Power already coming through, saying, okay, just get this Feraligatr out of the way. I don't want it on this team anymore. But Ashtonash says, nope, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm so close to my next attack here. Ice Beam already ready. A simultaneous swap.
This could be it. Alolan Sandslash coming in. It resists all of the attacks, but let's remember, there is an Ice Beam loaded on that Shadow for Alligator, and it will win charge attack priority. Ashtonash is thinking, can I get through this Azumarill? I don't want to lose the energy on my Shadow for Alligator. I'm just going to start throwing drill runs. I'm going to hope.
Well, we'll see if this hope will be enough, because drill runs might also be needed to be thrown here. One going through, there's already another one loaded, but just trying to get as much energy as possible. Second drill run going through now. Third one could possibly do it. We'll have to see about this pacing, because this was a simultaneous swap.
This next drill run lands. Azumarill so bulky. It's so close to the player up, not before another drill run comes. This won't even knock the Azumarill down.
Now going ahead, this drill run will connect. I think that we saw the player up being formed. No, the go coming in now, but the Ice Beam is thrown from the Shadow for Alligator, and this will be enough to knock the Moltres from the sky. Going for it, here we go. Boom!
Down goes Galarian Moltres. Shadow for Alligator is absolutely cooking. The play rough is now coming in against this Shadow for Alligator. This game is so close.
This is going to go into Bubble versus Powder Snow. They both have very little attack left in them, but Vitorello able to take it. 1 HP and a dream.
Vitorello wins 2 games to 1. What a massive victory!
Huge call in that game, bringing in that Alolan Sandslash, finding its targets there with 2 of the Pokemon on that team. Vitorello is going to Championship Sunday. He says, I'll see you all there.
That game could not have been closer. It was so much in Vitorello's favor to begin with. The momentum then shifted when Ashtonash banked that Ice Beam, and Vitorello was able to close it out in the end.